Okay, thank you. So at the as at the time of reciting the prayer for taking refuge and generating bodhicitta, so as we have cultivated the proper motivation, so we should be reinforcing the same motivations for listening to the teachings. As the refuge prayer that which we recited, which says, "I take refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sanghas until I achieve the full state of Buddhahood." So this. No. And then by the virtuous merit that I've accumulated by engaging in giving and so forth, may I achieve the state of Buddhahood. No.
Shas Sun Rogue, Nova Sende, Genju Sir Shas Rogue, Genju Sir Niwa, Soja Children, Soja Jonola. Shenju Pada says, Teva Chimi Chandra, take Kazapadan, Shenju Pada Seri. Shenju Pada, so Majipa Sia, Chiana, Shenju Nella, Logidella, Nabata so Majipa. Chico Lachen, chicken and Machepa, Chandra, the Tavachimi, don't mind you, Chandra, detail. Dana, the shot and drop a day. That's an associated soldier, Jonah, Shanju, Pado, Dana, Dana, just the church, dots in that, just the church with Jinilla Tenita, or shots and draw, shining more thing with it. Shining more, that is the thing on that. That is a mola and that German.
So you would have heard about this teachings or the explanation of this the prayers of taking refuge many times in the past. So essentially, so in this prayer for taking refuge, so which clearly shows the object of the refuge, which are the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, or the spiritual communities, and then also when it says, take refuge until I reach the complete enlightenment. So this imply that this the refuge is the refuge of the Mahayana, vehicle of Mahayana path, and also in terms of the meaning of the until I reach complete enlightenment. So that the term complete enlightenment can be taken as the ultimate spiritual goal, like the state of Dharmakayas, until I achieve that, or as a like a place, like a demographic place where you place where you attained or where you reach the complete enlightenment, such as this, which story is referring to this present day like a Bodhgaya. So when you reach until achieve the enlightenment at that place, so it can be interpreted that way. And also in that word there's also says like I take refuge. So there's I, so which implies the yourself or the person who take refuge.
And that the God is there. So that dog is just so given to that kid, the dog is says, yeah, Bobo. La Jimbali, ne all tipal shimere sombal shim gombal shim seno da geshe san se jamba to aje ge seno sen re so ge jesu se ja ge seno ji ba se shangel me te to cheng de a se de ge tsuni se de ku cheng de a ge seno de seno se ge jesu ji so no ji se jang shangel me ji ning ge de ning a ji yi so seno so ning a so de la cheng de a se ge jesu se chi ga ge da de se de ge ge jesu ji bi de ge ro la si che de sha che ro sen che de je de ro la pe shi se de nge ne da ye de de nin de ba de pe ro la pe shi su je ji bi ga de shu ju de nin de ba de ge ne ro la pe shi su je de ba sho se ne ngo la de ne se xian ngo de yong se de ne lo yin chang na ya bu ya de.
And then the next last two lines of that taking refuge, which goes like through the virtues that I accumulate, such as the giving and so forth, or rather through the collections of the virtues that I create, such as giving and so forth. So may I achieve the complete enlightenment in order to benefit all migrating beings. So again, this is also which these two lines. This line really is important to understand the meanings of this, all the words of this that you find in this line, and so that when you understand that, then it helps one to contemplate on that as you recite these the prayers. So again, in here when said through the collections of the virtues, such as giving and so forth. So sometime in the Tibetan versions, instead of saying collection, it does also in some prayers they use the word the collection of the merit, a collection of the merits, such as through the practice of giving and so forth. But then His Holiness Dalai Lama then suggests that it is better to just say through the accumulations of the virtue, such as giving and so forth. So in that way, the collections would include both the merit in like the merit and the wisdoms, collection of the merit and the collection of the merits. So although it says the way you collect this, how means how you create this or accumulate these collections is like through, as it says there in the prayer, giving and so forth. That is the so forth, which include all the rest of the six perfections, and then when it says here, in order to benefit other sentient beings, in that line. So that word actually implies that the reason why you accumulated this collection is to benefit other beings. So therefore, we talk about the there's a mention about the two types of two types of aspirations. So which is the aspirations for benefiting other being and aspiration for achieving one's own for one's own welfare. So this one, when it says in order to benefit others, so it also implies the clearly implies the purpose for which you accumulate the merits, these collections. And so of the true aspiration, this is an aspiration for benefiting others. And then in order to benefit others, then I would achieve complete enlightenment. So that word complete enlightenment then implies the other aspiration, the second type of aspiration for fulfilling one's own welfare. So that which are the two aspirations that are very which really defines the mind of enlightenment. Yes. So when it says, may I achieve complete enlightenment in order to benefit other sentient beings, so this word may, I, that kind of indicates that the like aspirational, the way you cultivating, what that indicate is actually generation of the bodhicitta mind, and the way you generated that bodhicitta mind in here is as a means, as a way of like in a form of rather in a form of as an aspirational prayer.
George Adisha Sures and Gay, and the student, George Adisha Pelper, that did sit out of Tingle or somebody.
No.
The George Sures, yes.
No.
Yeah, there. The Savoy Jedi, George Pelper, did sit at Ting and the Omar. Take the George Sures and then don't take in that is the Sudan, Madame Jet and Donald and then you want my.
And this particular verse of taking refuge and generating bodhicittas, there is no there's no clear the kind of indication of where this verse actually come from. The original source of this verse came from, but because you don't find this verse in any sutra or any other scriptures, but generally it is attributed to the the author of this word is attributed to the great Atishas, and it is when Atishas came to Tibet and brought the Buddhism in Tibet. So it's from that time. So this word, this verse of taking refuge become very common. Okay, so now we get on with the commentary on this teaching. So last time, so we stopped at this section called the division of patience. The division of patience. So the section on the division of patience has three parts. No. No. 마차산 숨 좀요.
알다.
세발라 숨 요레슬라로. 그런데 삼대샤. So the three first developing patience of disregarding harm done to you, developing the patience of accepting sufferings, developing the patience of certitude about the teachings.
자 domba 내자라 전문에 매자바 공부라 인요 내제 내제 내가 시발라 매자바 가바세다 매자바도 가르 잡아들래 원래 손들도 가냐선 내제 줘발라 마가시 가발라 가가바세 내내랑 아주 솔 내제 레슨 콜 줘바시는 가도 가면 돼요. 자 코치 가거든 가도 가면 돼요. 됐어요. 되는 바 가바세 내지는 칠라부 밴드와네 내제 여발라 마가시 거발라 가가바스 대제 내내데 내제 Then, call Jombashin, I don't Manga, Gaja, I don't Dialegua. Nejela, Gaza, Jomba, Gavashin, God, the Tema God, Tilusha, the other say all lay. The Nanga Chumba, she was in the rest of the time. Call your mother, telling enemies. This one, I don't know, she was you said. Never she bala. Mazaba Gaba, the Corson to another, that was on sugar to you. Neje, Jobala, Magashi, Gabala, Gaba, that's on the pen, the other day. Two quarters on the mother, you chilly, soon get the results in I see you and some donor, mother necessary each other. The nature and other pants changing, other Magachi, changing, Matavad, love them. Calling your man changing, other troubles and so the mother I own you are. Calling the Gavashan Gani, you let the Lord go and then go yet. Kaze yet the Moa, so you there's a Dumana Telegress, conjabation, change shoes is judging. There's another son to the Sandup rolling on the new year to get the red one. Roa, and do our Nature never shiva and Mazabaga, Nature never tanti wood, and Nature never passing tongue other Madeba Kazin, Madeba Kazin, would do. Not dear one leg with it. No, but such a red, such a cotton one, she don't pay up on the eyes. Nature Jobala, Magashi, Gabala, Gagaba, you need to sit not on it. What's the net on the garden there? Then I don't go on that on a yapon, Nature in Jobashin or Gago to get call Gabashin, call it Sawayung, Magai is the Sawayung with the gate. The nation, Yapon the one in it. Since they did not prepare the water, yet Lamata calling and Jobby me say, yet I think in Lamandig and the Chito the Jet Mandrach in the water.
And then the text, the goes into detail of this each of these three types of patients. So the first one, the first type of patient, which is the developing the patient of disregarding harm done to you, has two parts. So that is further explained but through these further two subheadings. So first one is stopping impatient with those who harm you, and then second, stopping both dislikes for harm-doers' attainments and delight in their troubles. So, of course, the detail or the further explanation of what these two subheading means will come, later on. But in fact, if we even just the way if we really give a think over this, just on these outlines is quite the striking, something really striking to our minds, such as when it says like stopping both dislike for harm-doers' attainments. So this is really totally challenging, our mental attitudes, which is such that when harm-doer means like somebody who cause you harm, or who like a perpetrators, or like offenders, whatever. So how we, they in our normal attitude is that if we, the person who we seek recognize as a something harmful, cause of harm, causing harm upon us. So we would rather, if we see them any doing well in anything, if they make they make any like attainment, or they have any success in their life, and then we would rather, our attitude is that to dislike that. We would hate to see them being successful and being doing well, and in such that how we can we feel this in other words, like there's a feeling of jealousy towards them for their success, and then it is, as we said in some other in this Lam Rim teachings, and how the greater their success, they make a gains, greater number of them make a gain achievements, then there's a more the jealous we will feel, and then more the feeling of like animosities that we would feel towards them, like a dislikes towards them, and so therefore these these are all, if we think about it, this is totally the unnecessaries, and how we feel that when we it is not a pleasant feeling to this of showing showing jealous towards their success, and so instead of that, instead of feeling animosity or dislike towards their attainment or their success, so what as we will find out later on, is that to cultivating, to generating like love and compassion towards them. So and then similarly, how on the other hand, and delight in their troubles. On the other hand, of course, if we observe these harm doer, or those who cause harm to us, so they if we see them not doing well, or they everything's their failures, and then we would rather take delight in that. We take joy in that. So how this, if we think on just on this outlined, how this is something which totally challenging, directly challenging the everyday kind of attitude that we will have. We show to our those who we recognize, who regard as our the cause of giving trouble, cause of giving harm upon ourselves.
Ninja, Yere, maybe, Shure, maybe, Ninja, the knee pay to Ra, so the Jatalachi, Jatalatin, Yomashin, Magam, I said, then other governors Sadua. Sayan Saya Satali Abushin, other Gagandua. Call Saya Satan, other Mandabashin, other Magash, Yungua, Magani. Magazine Mandaba call Mandaba Cote, Tachi, Tonda Lanka, that's the one I leg, send it leg. Gaga called send by Yando in leg. They just on to know the needs are much dinner, bed down, that's on Tamachi.
So how if we are able to cultivate like a unbiased or impartial compassions, with towards all beings, whether they are your, without any discriminations between, of seeing other as whether they're your friends or they are stranger or the enemies, then how, if we have this impartial love and compassion towards others, then how then instead of if rather than the feeling disliking or disapproving their success of the other beings, then especially those who we perceive as somebody who cause harm upon us. So, but if we hold love and compassion for that, then we would rather we would rather take joy and delight in their success, and also on the other hand, if they are inflicted with sufferings, or they they are facing some obstacles, so we will feel empathy towards them. So,
that mother and that's a chivari they Shiba Tans and Donga was in the Shibala, Mazeba Gabas, and then the Mazeba, the Kundolega, Kunda Mashiba, and some water. Kesong the Kundo, Panyemi, the Zebi Pain, the Tata, then that leg Haga, they K Shiba Tans, and Donga Shibala, Mazeba Gaba, tell us Zeba, they are so they are a sick case, and Zeba leg on the heat, Tongue. Mà they are young mà điều những ai là cái ta thấy ta đi qua để ta sống rồi có bao giờ cái chế bảo là nhà bảo số số chế bảo là mà sẽ bảo gặp bảo có sự ta như thế ta tụi bao giờ là như cho xa mà đi bảo tiền bảo nó cho xa đi bảo tiền bảo có xem được cái chuyện ta thì sống tốt ta làm mà trong mà thì có gian phải xa gì như này nếu cả cái chuyện xa gì như bảo là như cho xa mà đi bảo tiền bảo nó Sawa Shawa Ripa Tembago, Sondri, Tamayu. I can't do that. Nature than Denis, Halias, Kendua. Some Corotone Papa and Troasha, Mariba Tembadon, and then Sawa Shawa Ripa Tembago. Mariba Tembatel, that Jessel can hear you. Mariba, the kind of Mariba, Majiba, Mariba, the kind of death, and Troasha, Mariba Tembadon, some Marit. 내가 초샤 이거 말해. 나 머리 진짜 가려 진. 내가 진짜 아부 비싼 돈을 깨는데 할 년도 다 선택도야. 덤바들 니 가서 니 봐서 맞아 가봐서 다 덤바라 니 초샤 머리 받대 받대. 내가 샤리 받대 봐고.
So just referring to this text of the then the still it says stopping impatient with those who harm you, and then the start this the two above like a subheading. So now the first one. So now again that is explained under two further subheadings. So which are the stopping impatient with those who harm you has two parts. So stopping impatient with those who prevent your happiness, and with those who cause you to suffer. So we can so all these outlines and kind of the words that which is all used here by the great Tsongkhapas, even just by thinking on these words and the which all these outlines, so which really reflect the great Tsongkhapas, his own kind of the practice, what he's thinking on. So here the topic of course it is to engage in practice of patience as a remedy to overcome or prevent anger, and then. Like if we look at this the outline, stopping impatient with those who prevent your happiness. So normally, of course, if somebody cause some the interfere with, or somebody who cause some harm to our own happiness, then we lose the patience, and so there. And because of that, because they cause harm to our happiness, so we will go we will get angry, and so and or the or and with those who cause you to suffer, and as well as the not only we get angry if somebody harm our happiness, but at the same time if they cause harm to us, again we lose we lose temper, we get angry. So how, if we think on these lines, just outlines, how if we could apply this in practice, and how then that leaves no room for the really to anger to arise. And then the other subheading, stopping impatient with those who prevent your praise, fame or honor, and with those who have contempt for you or say offensive or unpleasant things to you. And then the text goes to go detail into the first one, which is stopping impatient with those who prevent your happiness and with those who cause you to suffer. And stopping impatient with those who prevent your happiness and with those who cause you to suffer has two parts. So showing that anger is unjustified, and showing that compassion is appropriate. So it's under these two, then we find out further about how to put into practice these, or in the engage in practice of patience in the situations where if someone who prevent our happiness or they cause us to suffer. No. No. No, need to. No.
Choasha, Mariba, Dembas, and Dig, that is the level. That tell us that you'll keep done in Tramari in the G. You generally did done in Tramari. Tell us done it, Tramari, so there you are.
So then there's a two subheading here, showing that anger is unjustified, okay, and showing that compassion is appropriate. Now, the further then the text says here, showing that anger is unjustified has three parts. So the further explains that points under these three points. So which says the first, on analysis of the object, the anger is unjustified, and then on analysis of the subject, the anger is unjustified, and on analysis of the basis, the anger is unjustified. So, and then the with regard to this on analysis of the objects, on analysis of the object, anger is unjustified. So that's on the basis of the object. Then has four parts. So on analysis of whether the object has self-control, the anger is unjustified. So it's looking at the actual objects, whether the object has a self-control or has have a choice. So on saying the anger is unjustified. So that's one point. And then on analysis for either advantageousness or inherency, the anger is unjustified. No.
Te rola never shende just some back and the Sandup. Joy Rongi, they are copper, little seller, yet the knowing the Machi, she be so yona, that they tell us so zona. Catete roller never much bala, wrong here, jetta, never jayo, try no, or tell a wrong, then me, Janja, who met the penny, never sheba, Yembe, try yes, that is the sound of that. There,
and then also these two more on analysis of whether the harm is direct or indirect, then the anger is unjustified, and on analysis of the cause that impels the harm doers, the anger is unjustified. So these are the four, and now the first one of these four, the first one, which is the on analysis of whether the object has self-control, the anger is unjustified. So the text goes, so analyze and thinking, what would be reasonable grounds for anger towards harm doer? So whereupon you might think, they first had the thought of wanting to harm me, prepared the method, and then either prevented my happiness or inflicted unpleasant physical or mental suffering. So my anger is justified.
That car maybe said the car, then I get conviction, Yamo Sabe Point Amara, saying till Yamo Sabe arrested. Then said, Yamua, my Yana, but see my yelling, Yamujan Swan was it in the kitchen. That I get the convi, Yamo Sabe, but Yamo Mapa is that combat ship, Yamo Sabe the over. Yet any couldn't say, never say, yet, those called ya. That's such a Miami, not all the data, such a Miami, but yellow shame being Judo, Jano, Jeda, so be, then Navy, Nesete, a Shen yonder, so you don't, Jujet, that again, Javan Jevi, and shut down, certainly that's undergoing. Nyamo Omer, that say. Cola Rome, Nyamo Omer, the Tindason to in that, near Combi, Nyamo just have a yap, but Nyamo Mapia, Nyamo Savea, yes. Yeah, Yawan never does, that never shesa the Nyakota yet. Could never say, Yanayo, that's some magic years, and it's call you, you're the mogul in Nobashuchi, call Lord Thing. Is that today is that us swine that you like shape you just no chen no chede so be na never said a shadow yonder so to judge data shall and jay shadow that so and then yan jay shed so can do that massage never say she yonder Yonder, my soldier, Jet doesn't train, and gave something. You know, caught that, I call never took at the son of somebody, married the jet for the whole language, this testing. The part of the get out of that, the common Tama. Yonder, kid, never said, shall go yonder. My soldier, Jet talking, Shavan J. Shuttle, that's on that dog. Yeah. Goda Koro, Yamo, Kobe Onge, or Yamo Sabe, Yamo Sabe said, Yamo Rima, Shamashi, Rida Shamashi, Nibada Sabesa. Sabe, you know, then you did it. Pasha, Sabe said that Rida Shamashi, Nibaya, yes. Then or never says, I yet don't go Yatala, yes. some of my Asia call here the more number she was then. That's certain to get so in that con never share them, share the somebody on my Jango give it. They were laying on young Jang with her letter. I go that thing. I want to ask Jay shut on. 姐姐台长从那些多年的所中，两么些姐姐台长忙从哪的，姐姐台长忙从哪些多年的所中，两么些不些，他的过去看着他从态度的，哎，也不是用了解呀。
Okay, so first just to read. So in fact, if we read very close and think on this meaning of the line, so it makes very logically makes very clear. So as it says here, analyze thinking. So what would be reasonable grounds for anger towards harm doers? Whereupon you might think. So first you kind of establish the scenarios. They first had the thought of why when the other person of the scenario of the other harm doer or other person causing harm upon oneself. So they first had the thought of wanting to harm me, so prepared the method, and then either prevented my happiness and inflicted unpleasant physical or mental suffering. So my anger is justified. So this is how, when we arise the harm, generate anger, on the ground, that on the basis that how the we see that how that the situation where that person has caused harm upon us, and then it says here and then we justified our anger, and then it says here, are you angry because they inflicted harm while they had the self-control not to harm you, or are you angry because they were utterly without any self-control and hurt you while helplessly impelled by something else? So this raises the question of whether in these scenarios, whether the perpetrator or the harm doer, whether who cause harm upon us, whether do they we take into account whether they cause harm out of their own like a self-control or their self-choice, or without any choice. So in the former case, so your anger is unjustified. So if they do cause harm out of with the self-control, with the choice, and it's saying that even so, your anger is unjustified because those who inflict harm do not have control over themselves. So it's just saying that even though we may think that they have the full control, full choice, but in reality, if we understand their true situations, and then it is not up to them really. Then the fact that there's the cause that has which been causing of the harm which has caused to us, it is not in their hands. So it says because those who inflict harm do not have control over themselves, for when the condition and causes seeds left by affliction to which they were previously habituated. So it's looking into the actual causes, objectively, what is the real causes that which has resulted in some sort of harm to us. So it's looking at this. When you look at that, then obviously then it says that the person who harm to a person who caused harm. So obviously they had the seed of the like the mental afflictions which influence them to cause harm. So there's a seed there, and also a nearby object. So that's talking about all the conditions that which eventuate this instance of harm upon ourselves. So all the conditions are also present there, and then erroneous conceptions come together. They give rise to the thought to harm. So this, when this usage of the word, this habituated, a nearby object, erroneous conceptions. So this has some relate to some what is said in the Abhidhamma teachings, pertaining the various causes, that the necessary causes that are for the arising of the mental affliction. So referring to that. So the one is the erroneous conceptions come together. So that is talking about the subtle, like a confused or a mistaken a state of mind that person have, and which when we have that, so like how when we have this erroneous conception or this confused state of mind, then because the influence of that, then we would naturally, the person who possesses this such a confused state of mind, then naturally then perceive all the object, the object has been something very negative, and so that is also already there. Yeah. Unpleasant, perceive everything as negative, unpleasant, or something like unattractive, undesirables, and so because of when you if there's a underlying underneath that person's mind, if there's this state of confusion or sort of this mistaken perceptions, and even so, therefore it says here they give the right thought to the harm. So even though the harm doer do not think, I will feel malice. So therefore, what it's saying here, like in our scenarios, we have pictured that this harm doer initially had some sort of intentions to have a thought to cause harm upon us. So what is saying here, when all the conditions for all the eventuation of the harm upon ourselves are all present, then it is not necessary. It is not necessary that whether the person have such thought to harm you or not. That's what he's saying here. Even if the person do not think will feel malice, whereas if those causes and conditions are not complete, they will never produce the thought to harm. Like how it doesn't help. If on the other hand, if all those conditions are not present, then even if the person have a thought to harm, still that what he's saying is that these harmful events would not take place. So they will never produce the thought to harm, even if the harm doers think I will feel malice. So it's saying that if the conditions are not present, then even if the harm doer think I will feel malice, and still the harm would not happen.
대제라 영화셰비 선나 보자자라 롱주자 좀 매도세 혼이 건니죠 년모비 영원의 집이 채워더니 수인셔로 년행아들이 산도 전대세알래 군요 콜랑 자니야 마타 년모 채워놓지 년모 어디 이게 다봐 자자 토마 고자 거기 알아서 네바라도 년모 어디 쉬어서 콜 자니 오냐요 말이야 롱문이야 로라 롱 때니 다 수이셔 채우다 수이셔 다 되라 There's more Rolla Ron, then met by Jenny, woman, can never see by Yenan, Shudder yon, Try Merite, that did it. Call a ron, then met by it, then met Jensen, Jella, Jenja Gunny, never see by Yenan, then Shudder in Try Merite. Call a Rome, Jeja Covashin, never Mashe Roger 200, I call to the architect and going. Yes, Cassaniamo got you can watch at Rolla Rome, then in Meba, Jenja, woman the gunny, never see by Yenan, I can't call Ron time, cock, I want the secretary, Marita, that in a bed yard.
And then continues the text read, these causes and conditions produce the desire to harm. This in turn produces the work of harming, and this produce suffering for someone else. So those harm doers do not have even the slightest self-control. So it's clearly stated here that the eventuation of such a harm, harm upon ourselves is not a matter of that a person's thought only, but rather that all this is a matter of all the causes and conditions, coming together, and how when these are come together, then it, this harm eventuate. But if they're not gathered, it doesn't eventuate. So therefore, when you speak of the causes and conditions, then how, when the causes and conditions look at that, and then condition can produce the desire to harm. When the condition get together, desire harm, then how the desire to harm arise, then it naturally, it kind of, that this desire then propel then this the person to undertake the actions, without any choice. So the harm doers do not even have the slightest self-control. So moreover, they have become like servant to their afflictions. So because they are under the control of others, so that is their affliction. So if it the reflect on the situation from this angle, then we can clearly see the very good ground for to feel compassion towards these harm doers. And then text continue in the latter case. So this just referred to previous, where there's the question of whether the person has the self-control or without control. So the without control. In the latter case, you are angry because the harm doers are utterly without any self-control and being helplessly impelled by something else. They hurt you. Then your anger is totally unjustified. So what he's saying, I mean, it's very quite self-explanatory. So how, if the person is totally lack control, lack freedom, lack choice, then more so reason that then it shows the reason that we kind of unjustified our showing anger. So, but rather justified us to show compassion for that person. So, and in fact, if we reflect on these, all this the sequence of the causes and the effect, that how when somebody is completely, a person is completely overpowered by anger, and then how the person naturally lose its own self-control and all self-choice and the capacity, capacities, and so therefore it becomes very impaired. So everything is just the person is controlled or completely driven by this mental affliction. So when we look reflect on these, how the person is in the situation, the person has become so helpless, and then there's more reason for us to to show compassion for the person.
Then danger run never shipping that Shetonian tell a Cusa to Montrova. There don't la Baba Jada, then Jose Jejon, never shapa, the Nyamombe danger, on never shipping. That's you know, the Sony to the Goza tell a Cusa to Montrova, Yamu Tedo to try shut the doggy to Jose Jejon, Jose Jor and Beton, the Seche Giso started in the man a dead lava, no matter Jina, Coro pencils and you said my sheet, you called Robinson again, Robinson get a part, called Rome about Degger, but there didn't check this, started there. There's a Degger law that in there. Then the dead Rome about sheep, etc. You send the Chino, you the Teta, Giuseppe Montrova. There's Jin Chentella, Baba Jada, Jose Neja, Never Shabanda, Yamobi, danger on the snow ship, Teta Shiba Yen, Sonny, Koza, tell I choose to Montrova, Yamu, the Teto, try it, and doggy, Jose Joal and Bedonian, the Seche Gisos, that are going. Avata, they pay never tell you that there's a longer collar. Now, there my shake, Robinson get a do it yet, and it's already then. Now, Robinson get a court, dead law, they go wrong the arm, wrong, and yourself wrong your arm. Is that there shall go arrest, and the collar say, I shall take him married. Then, no, never she by the collar, Yamo room, never she was saying, could my she, Talaman, Degre Mado, collar. Sang married, no didn't tell it. Of course, she gets horse. Then you touch Japali, then that our children and they move to it.
And then continues, for instance, some people who have been possessed by demons and have come under their control may wish to hurt those who are helping them to get free of their demons and thereupon beat them, etc. So, however, their helpers think they do this because their demons have eliminated their ability to control themselves and do not have even the slightest anger towards them. So they then strive to the best of their ability to free them from their demons. So likewise, when bodhisattvas are hurt by others, they think they do this because the demon of the afflictions have eliminated their ability to control themselves. So without being even the slightest bit angry with those persons, then they must generate the spirit of enlightenment, thinking, I will strive as the bodhisattvas did in order to free them from these afflictions. So, so in here the text, use an example of
Jimbo, Tachi, no senator, no you pass said truth, then get there, trying you be somebala, Mematua Machata, call pentos of your denke, send truth, then get your denke teller, thou call yourself said there, never call Robinson and Rona, then say about Kindle, never seen any, Meban Triba, Trimum, Matuba Tetas. Then it's about so jet on the nigger, then Yamo dog, she by Zigger, Mother, Yamo ten, Rega, Kuza the same Mamba. Mamba, then you heard the Kuza tell us, Majeba, Mares, that is in the Yamo Tonde, Kuza Mas, etc. ra tebe nyamo ta nyamo te ta ge xie ye ma taba su je te ji ji nyamo te nu yo ko za ge xie ma ba ta xie ma ba iden da la ma je me ba re ta son te no ne de nga de son ya bu to go de yo ne sa ta te ji te a ko da da ta pin de ne lo be da nga cho su mo ko de ngi de then senje xie ma jian then nyamo jie non jie no xie xi no ba jian ling ke ba no senje ta lan chu ma xie ni ne de ja then ja xia ma ri a jian mi ji xie se then nyamo me xian jie ge then senje xie ma jie de xie ma ri ba de senje xie ma re es de ka re na nyamo me ge jian ne xie yi xi tene ba jian kiba no jie de denbi no ba jian kiba no jie sen jie da ren chu me xie se da se de kun do sa ma re su ni ren de de ja dong de zu ja ye jia mo yang da da den xian ju ni re
so so in here so the just as in the that about the analogies, how when a person who is completely possessed by some sort of evil spirit, or who has mentally gone like insane, and then such person then he would not have no discriminations to see who is helping them, who is not helping them, and so therefore they will even attack even those people who are trying to help them. But however, or as far as the helper, person who are helping them, then which like just as they will understanding their situation, they won't react with the person with their anger because of their understanding. So in the same way, what he's saying is that is how the bodhisattvas, the attitudes towards those who cause harm to them. So they rather feel more the compassion, more empathy towards them, and so there is a clear. You can find it a bit more explanation later. They makes it clear, clearly see that these are all this harm, that harmful action, destructive action that they create is all the outcome, direct outcome of their person's the mental afflictions which behind that action. So it is rather than the associating the cause of the harm to the person or the harm to themselves. So it says here in the text, accordingly, the Arya there was 400 stanza says, just as a doctor does not fight but helps patients who are possessed by spirit, though they get angry, so this sage see that the affliction are at fault, not the person who have the affliction. So the sage, so here refer to the like a Buddha, fully enlightened being. So they never they see only the affliction as the as an enemies, and then never see the person. So rather the persons who are overpowered by the mental affliction, so they rather see them as like victims, and there's somebody they helpless and object of compassion. So and then furthermore the master Chandrakriti also states, so which you would have heard these things so many times in the past. So which says, this is not living beings' fault, rather it is the fault of the afflictions. So they learn it, analyze, and do not fight with others.
Romaning and trouble, then other issues of Takol could tell me that Sunday share no jerry, but the daughter of Shan done a Yamot, which never change, sends us all true mothers. Sorts of one yes, and King Shah Maria, she says, and Yamon the Dizzy on Jishan do, so other share a lot. Yamot Ki Jalo, the caution getting it in that leg. 다 내가 벌써 작은 자대와이다 제데 네야 단디로 할래이다 당연 테니스를 다 고다될 거는 사고 돼와 그러와 다 녀문 드네 시에서 고 지자니 녀문 드네 온 지자니 제 소버를 근데 야본데와 자 대쟁에는 저런 돈더실라이 다 하고 저 내는 야라 쇼사 레종 쇼사요 제 치서진 듯이 거니 내가 잡아 봐 너도 대집이 너라 내봐니니 되고 봐는 야보고 ron never kid in it. All other Zavagotaba, Kidian Ron, what is yet on the ice. That's on Abun, the pay, Abun, the was the Yata.
And then says the text, although many reasonings are set forth in engaging in the Bodhisattva's deeds, it is easy to be certain of this one, and it is very powerful remedy for anger. Also, the Bodhisattva's levels has the same meaning where it states that you can bear harm after you meditate on the idea of mere phenomena. So meditate repeatedly on this remedy until you reach certain knowledge of it. So here as a way to counteract anger, so towards the other who cause harm to towards us, towards one. So where it says here, you have to analyze, you have to think about whether the reason why the person caused harm to us is because they have a choice, they have a self-control, or they don't have a self-control. And then if they don't have a self-control, and then to as it says here, how the what is controlling them, which is the mental afflictions, like the. Just in the above, there's the quotation by Chandakirtis and so on. So how it's not the person has no choice or no no control. So rather it is the mental affliction which is like a force behind the person who which is really driving, which is really the driving or motivating, the impelling that person to cause all those harm, to create harmful actions. So therefore, when we understand this situation from this angle, and then we could see that the true cause of the harm, true harm doer is that the affliction, mental affliction, which is a driving force behind that, and the person is simply become succumb to that the order or the force of that mental afflictions, and so therefore there's when you think of the situation of the person, then is a way the person deserve. We will feel empathy towards that person's loss.
Gate Royana said, Ron Manning, I never share. Gate Royana, Gate Senja Teta, Royana, why Dunga, Dunga, Majede, Dunga, the Mende shadow. Tell her Roy Epshed, said that. None they just have just something didn't it. Just a correspond, Riba correspond as Zabagone, couldn't you whatever saying you are.
Yes. And then continues, if this being had self-control, then they would not have any sufferings, because they would not want suffering. And because they could control it. So in here, if you read this whole line, and then what we find here is really the lot of reasonings being employed here to understand and to understand the situations, clearly. So therefore, if we base on the reasoning, and then how, if we say that, let's say, just prior to this, how, it is very clear to us that or it does make sense to even to our mind that if the person, person who caused harm is totally enslaved by these mental afflictions and really has no choice, then we can understand that. But then at the same time, as it proposes a reason that even if the person has a self-control, then again, if we think on this line, then they would not have any sufferings. So because they would not want suffering, and because they could control it. Now again, if we apply these reasons, so that even that also help us. So all this help us to counteract anger and to developing really a patience towards the harm doers.
대다 년무 잡어 셰변나 치셔도 본 되진 폼비 네 롤라용과 봐도 면에랑아 쇠등아 마도 소도 지시 기반될 것이고 제거야 알아 로항에는 사지 폼이라 되지 아주 야보는데 폼비가 전에 롤라용과 봐도 면에 소리 기반자와 섞어야만 년무 언제전 과 봐도 소제 봐도 유사도 반 총왕 아주 예선 동료와 세만원데 세역이 제바 내가 셰지 가지제 가지 맞아 어디 셰니 야라 내가 담이 지인녀데 손에죠 저거봐 자고 년에래 그 년무 온데 전이지 다 로메 어래 야라 내가 시 아조래 롤 가르 롤 소리 쏴치야 말 코제바다 괜히 로소 롤 너희고요 그러면 추바용다 맞은게서 론도를 내지. 총 세마 세라 제번요 다 살아요. 소 카세 제바 소지. 현나 예라 내바다 지민년도 손이죠. 전처가봐 샤고 내가 건져야. 아들이 신주들 대자 통제진의 연요 대이진 오늘 전전에 대자 신내지. 저다비 너는 응보컬은 처음에 문제로서 다들 내가 다 돈이 로지 말이베. 그러나 그노가 받아 손은 어디지 대동을 다 되게 다 되게 야셔.
And then the text continues. Furthermore, you should stop your anger by also thinking, when these beings are moved by strong afflictions, so they commit suicide, leap from cliffs, harm themselves with thorns, weapons, etc., and stop eating and so forth. So if they do this to even so if they do this to even even their greatly cherished and dear selves, so of course they will hurt others. So the clearly indicate the destructiveness, or force of these mental afflictions. How empowered by these such the destructive force of these mental afflictions, then how that a person's then even can do a lot of self injuries and even take their own life and cause a lot of inflict a lot of harm upon themselves. And so in a sense, in a way, when we think about this, because of the force of such mental affliction, then how the people could even injure themselves, which normally the self is the most something most cherished one, most that dear one for oneself, and if it cause harm to that, and then basically then we have to think then what need to say that that they cause harm to others. So even so this also reflecting on this also the very effective, very powerful in counteracting the anger and developing patience. And then the text goes some quote from the engaging in the Bodhisattva's deed, and I think we So which the engaging in the Bodhisattva's deed states, thus everything is dependent on something else, and because that in turn is dependent, it is not autonomous. So understanding this, do not be angry at anything. So all things being like illusions. So this touches on the on overcoming these the anger and developing patience through reflecting on the ultimate reality of things, that how in ultimate reality how all the things lack this independent or intrinsic existence or intrinsic nature, and rather so like things are like an illusion. So by reflecting on this, so also is a serve as a remedy to overcoming angers.
Sosa dry, nye, sosa maribiga, maribiga chin, never chi, she sona, Pachen, the little panjan, son tona, sosa samativa, they are no maris, they are never, they are nurse, they are nurse, they are Mariana, that are so there, they are nurse. Yes, Kader Rongacha, the Dungeon, Guy, the one Mandepi. Geshe Doga 28 Salayu Dunga Ju Manja Kongela Madain Tender Quatsenium Yata Tender Tenba Kang Tender Jadra Teta Zion 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 Rus Maria Jaba Tunjana Dene Jelin Jatoshi Tata Soshi Tata Sonatona Road they are name Central Maris Zeva Yungres you got I catch you was ready Tessa.
And then the continues, and also, therefore, if you see an enemy or friend doing what is wrong, then think this arises from certain conditions and remain and remain happy. So this also relate to what we already have discussed about, how if we think on the situation whether it is the harm that you receive from is from whether from enemy or from friend, but if you reflect on what was discussed before in terms of the actual causes and conditions, and when you reflect on that, and when you really realize these actual causes and conditions of the actual situation, then these such the confronting such situation where you receive harm, so it would not affect, it would not alter one's own way of thinking, and so therefore one can be through this one be able to remain or to maintain peace and happiness within oneself.
That is that says they are nessa. Gata Ronga did the Daniel and Guy, the one Mende Pigeon, Lecetane, Tonja Church, Salaya, Dunga, German Just, that Hakosa, the last Batina, that contain him on the vision. Dadu need you say, Shepa, then say, Tata, Yelly La, Namashaba, Chitanja, Sandak, and let's see no pendua. Meaning I send their dress and they send their Apoda, the Lord is on the Apoa, and they in Zion, they rich and Maria Tonja, then it's in Jetta son as a Devane, said Niamo, Conseniamo, on Jimmy, Dadu need to say, Shepa, that's a Tata Yelila, Namashaba Chatanja, and then there was some tether. I love it, Roger Konya, just Tony. Then
continues if all beings could achieve result according to their wish, then since no one wants sufferings, so no one would suffer. And also, while under the control of their afflictions, some people will kill even their dear selves. So how can you expect them not to harm the bodies of others? So essentially, so these these verses are very content, are very advices, very effective advices to counteract anger, and so therefore it is it's worth, it's very beneficial to repeat these kind of words whenever you can, and also if we could memorize these words, so as a way to help us to meditate on this subjects relating to how to this overcoming the angers and developing patience. And so now the next one, which is on analysis for either adventitiousness or inherence, the anger is unjustified. So which we will continue next week.